everybody, and welcome back to the 13th episode of the Triboro Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Alonso. I'm joined by my co-host, Nicholas O'Brien. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Mm.
The first episode away from each
What do
other.
you mean?
I'm so
What do you
sad.
mean? I'm literally right next to you. Just look at the screen. No, look at the screen. I
Oh,
am literally right
oh, I
next to you.
see you.
How are we
Sorry,
away
I
from
see
each
you
other
now.
if I'm right next to you?
My bad.
Idiot!
That's on me. That's on me.
Mm.
It's okay. You know, the Mets are making me lose some more brain cells, so it's kind of dwindling my intelligence.
You were smarter than... That was smarter than any decision that Aaron Boone made this weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure. I am
Oh, we will
sure.
get into it. You guys...
Oh, yeah.
You guys got so unlucky that there was no Bronx last week. Let me tell
I
you.
know.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, you got lucky
You
that...
missed an opportunity of a lifetime.
Oof. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, so we're both
Want to get
depressed.
into
Let's
it?
get into it.
Let's get in.
Now entering the Bronx.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bronx. Nicholas O'Brien is an idiot and is trying to change his lights. Everyone point and laugh, point and laugh.
I'm gonna change it. It's gonna change
You're
mid thing.
gonna change. You've been working
It's
on it
gonna
for the
be
last.
great.
You've been working on it for the last 3 minutes, but it's gonna change, guys. It's
is.
gonna change.
It's going to change.
Yeah. Okay, Aaron Boone. So
We gotta turn the page.
you gotta turn the page. Oh, don't even get. Don't even. We're gonna have. I can't say that. I'll get arrested. All right. As always, your injury update brought to you by the Triboro MD. Aaron Judge is expected to be activated on Tuesday. I think it was when they put them on the IL. We said this in the recording that did not happen. Just precautionary. He could have played at the end of the Cleveland series, but you don't mess with that, especially on a 9-year deal.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
you do not mess with that.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. Luis Severino.
It's still early.
Exactly.
So.
Luis Severino is gonna have a high A rehab start on Wednesday. Weird story with that, where he's like, "No, I want to pitch on Thursday because I don't want to spend the night."
Yeah.
Weird story,
That
but
was
he's
something.
pitching Wednesday. Carlos Rodon is getting a cortisone injection to help his stiff back. That's a weird situation because nothing is hurt.
Right.
It's just
He's just
stiff.
right.
So it's like
I don't know.
that's just weird.
I don't like the sound of it only because it's something new. You know, he went on at first for what was it, his forearm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the forearm, and now it's been his back. So it's just always something creeping up, but hopefully he gets back soon.
Hopefully. Josh Donaldson is close to starting back up baseball activities. Who knows with that? I have a very interesting take on Donaldson. Should I just take it now?
Okay.
I'll just say it now.
Might as well.
I think that
Yeah.
Josh Donaldson would be the perfect hitting coach for the Yankees.
Really?
Say that he retires after this year. Everyone in the clubhouse, all you hear is how they absolutely love the guy. So he's going to be in the clubhouse. The hitting coach sucks. So, and when you listen to Donaldson, I remember Jack Curry said, the first time he met Donaldson, if Donaldson didn't have to go, they would have had about a 4 or 5 hour discussion on hitting. And just, the breakdown of the mechanics and all that. So I think he would be a very good hitting coach.
Definitely.
That's just
and I think it's to the thing where, I don't think his approach is bad. I think his body just caught up to him.
Sorry about that. There were some technical difficulties. Now back to it. All right, we'll do game 1 recap. You got Joni Brito versus Yanni Chirinos. Bottom of the first, Rosarina home run. Bottom of the second, Jose Siri sac fly to make it 2-0. Yandy Diaz home run to make it 3-0. Harold Ramirez fielder's choice 4-0. Then you got to go all the way to the top of the 6th to get to the next scoring. Rizzo single, Glaber double to make it 4-1 Rays. DJ walk, and then the man, the myth, the legend, the non-impact bat, by the way, Harrison Bader 3-run home run to make it 4-4. I'm gonna rub that one in so badly. And then in the bottom of the 7th, Jake Bauers messes up a play with a 95% catch probability, and a run scores because of it. 5-4. That's it for the scoring. Brito ended up going 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Chirinos went 5.1 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, no strikeouts. That was just no fun.
Yeah, that was rough. I think the Jake Bauers catch definitely stings because that kind of. I know we talk about it a lot, like you never know what happens next, but it directly correlated to a run that basically won them the game.
There was a thing that I saw that they had a first baseman in left, the guy they benched in right, and a a third baseman in center. That game.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, when you put it like that,
Yeah,
that just makes it sound a lot worse, doesn't it?
That was really bad. That wasn't the exact quote, but it was like 2 guys like completely out of position, and then Aaron Hicks who was starting. We'll get into that.
Right. Of course we will.
Game 2 was Domingo Germán versus Drew Ramusin. Ramusin, however you say that. Bottom of the first, Manuel Margot double makes it 2-0 Yankees. Manuel Margot is a Yankee. 2-0 Rays. Then at the top of the 8th, Rizzo single, Glaber single, DJ double to make it 2-1, and then Harrison Bader, the man, the myth, the legend, pinch hit 2 RBI single, 3-2 Yankees. I was told by you he's not an impact bat.
Well, we'll get into it, I'm sure.
Then in the bottom of the 9th, nothing happens. Just to note, Ian Hamilton closes it out. Domingo Germán went 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts.
Rasputin, something like that.
5 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. I think Germán pitched really well. I think 5 innings, 2 earned runs. I think he pitched better than that. It was literally just the first inning against probably statistically the best offense
team
in baseball. So in the Trop, which is just known for being like hell.
The pit of hell.
Yeah, like even Satan wouldn't go. It's the 8th layer of hell. Yeah.
It's the one they don't tell you about.
It's the what's it called? It's the I can't think of the word. It's the what's the small text that you can't read?
The fine print?
It's the fine print in like the nutrition labels. It can cause cancer within 5 seconds of eating.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, game 3. Oh boy. Garrett Cole versus Josh Fleming. Josh Fleming wasn't the starter, but there was an opener. Fleming was like the bulk guy, so screw you if you're going to be stingy with that. Rizzo home run, DJ single, then Darth Bader 2-run home run to make it 3-0 Yankees. Not an impact bat. Top of the 4th, Jose Trevino walk, Hicks double somehow to make it 4-0 Yankees, Glaber double to make it 5-0 Yankees. Then top of the 5th, Harrison Bader leadoff triple, non-impact bat. Oswaldo Cabrera sac fly, 6-0 Yankees. Bottom of the 5th, Jose Siri home run, 6-1 Yankees, 6-1 Yankees. Wander Franco single, and it was one of those balls that was just like hit in the perfect place for the hitter. That like it didn't leave the infield, but it was still like a hit. Glaber ends up like getting it. The runner, I forget who it was, ends up going to third, or like running to go to third. Glaber makes like this crazy play to throw him out. Oswaldo just had to make like a routine play on the one hopper, didn't make it. The ball gets past him. Runner scores. 6-2 Yankees. Bottom of the 6th, Harold Ramirez double, Isaac Paredes ground rule double, Manuel Margot walk, Christian Bethancourt homer to make it 6-6, Jose Siri walk, wild pitch, Yandy Diaz ground out, but Jimmy Cordero wasn't paying attention to where the runner was, so Siri scored from second on a ground out.
Oh my god.
To make it 7-6 Rays. Top of the 7th, non-impact bat, Harrison Bader single, Oswaldo Cabrera ground rule double.
That's gonna be our first shirt.
Jose Trevino sac fly to make it 7-7. I want you to guess who scored that run.
Who scored the run?
The impact bat.
Okay.
Top of the 10th, because this game went to extras, because of course it did. Top of the 10th, Aaron Hicks gets caught in a rundown. So it was 1 out. Hicks got to third because Volpe moved him over. Glaber hit a ball to the shortstop with the infield in that, of course, Hicks ran on contact with the infield in when you're slow, because why wouldn't you? I'm being sarcastic. You do not do that. He ends up getting caught on a rundown. The pitcher, like, dives over him and, like, barely tags him, but it looked like it didn't tag him. And Hicks just stood on the ground for 5 seconds staring at the umpire. Then was like, oh, wait, he didn't make a signal. Maybe I should be running the entire time. He ends up getting thrown out at home. He was out earlier, but it's just like the principle of not moving. It's like,
it's the little things.
Dude, you're fighting for raw spot. You already have the double. Like, build off of that. And he just that.
Like, if you had something good to take away from Hicks, that
you take it away now. It nullifies
exactly.
Because that's just a zero effort play. Because even if you think you're out, you got to still run it out on the off chance the umpire's an idiot.
Yeah.
So it's
like
just.
Again, it's the little things.
It's the little things. And then enter Albert Abreu. Albert Abreu comes in, gets an out, then immediately gives off the walk-off single to known Yankee killer Isaac Pradas. Thank you, Tigers. 8-7 Rays final score. That was Garrett Cole went 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 6 runs, but only 5 earned. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Josh Fleming went 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. I think that was such a dumb move to leave Cole in. He was obviously struggling with control, and maybe you give him the 6th, but once, like, they get a double, then another double, it's like, why are you leaving him in?
He's obviously
control.
Yeah, something's not right. It's kind of an issue I have with Buck right now. You just can't really pull him. If you pull him and then it blows up in your face, it's the bad move. But then you keep him in and it blows up in your face, it's the bad move. But it's one of the points where he obviously doesn't have it, and you kind of just need to move on.
That's also, like, you're saying that, but those are, like, 50-50 situations where it could go either way. This, like, everyone could tell Cole just did not have it.
Right, except for Aaron Boone.
Yeah. Something to note, those were the first 2 home runs Cole gave up this year. Like, once you get into the bottom 5th and, like, the wheels start falling off, you could tell that it just wasn't going well. Like, why are you I just don't see how you leave him in there. That game, like, you could... I think that blame falls on not Boone, but Cashman. I'll get into that in a second. Cashman and Cole, but I think you give Cole a pass because he should have been taken out, but he gave up the runs, and that was his first bad start of the year against a team that usually owns him, best team in baseball, so I'm going to give him a pass on that. But did you see the Cashman quote that came out a couple days ago? Cashman literally had to say, Aaron Boone is not my puppet. And he had to say, but if Boone makes a decision and it goes wrong, he has to answer for it.
Right.
And whenever a decision goes wrong, they always say the analytics. So it's almost like literally admitting Boone does nothing.
Yeah.
Because, like, my thing is that I saw someone tweet it. It was some random guy. I don't know who said it. That if Boone makes an error and it's not... He gets, like, the flack for it, even if he has justification. But if the analytics make an error, they're like, oh, this was our justification. But Boone never gets the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Like, I get there's analytics, but you also should be managing by feel of the game. You can't just use the analytics.
Definitely. I mean, I think that's kind of the issue where a lot of teams are right now, where they kind of focus too much on analytics, and they kind of take away... Yeah, I know, and I'm a big numbers guy. I obviously feel like I talk more about the analytics and all that more than you do probably, but it's to the point where a lot of teams are taking it like the end all be all when it should be like the start.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you have this now. What's the word?
Build off it.
Like, build off of it, implement it
use it as your sources that you're citing.
Yes, exactly. But a lot of these teams are like, all right, this is it.
They do an MLA format, not APA.
Exactly. Like, who does that?
Who does that?
Horrible.
No, I hate that. That's always been one of my biggest issues, especially with Boone. Like, I'm not mad at Boone for all the stuff that went down because it's clear that he's not making the decisions. It's
Right.
the analytics and like all them. So I'm not really gonna harp on him that much because if he gets fired, you're just getting another yes man. I think Brian Cashman, until he gets a bye-bye, that's gonna be a big issue. It'd be a very big one. You have anything else to add about the games?
No, I think it's just. Look, I think there's a lot of positives to take from it, but it's one of those things where you can tell the difference between very good team and a team that's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Where the good team takes what's
All
the
the
word?
opportunities. They capitalize
They take
on
the
it.
opportunities off the little things.
No.
The Jake Bauers catch that should have been catch.
I think the runner scored from
Rays
first
scored a
right
run.
away.
Right. So they take advantage of the little mistakes, any things here and there, to then kind of push them to where they are.
Agreed.
But look, there's a lot of good to take.
Something to like note from that: every game, this series was a one-run game. I will say, you lose a series to a division rival, it's usually doomsday. I'm not that mad about it because the Rays are playing like the best team in baseball. The Yankees are known historically for never being able to win at the Trop. With all these injuries, I don't hate it. There was a lot of good to take out of it.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I'm feeling a lot better than I was a week ago. I'll say that.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like you should. Like I said, there's a lot to take from this and kind of build off of.
There is a lot to take from this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get it started with the impact fat.
Yes.
Harrison Bader. So
all right. Hold on. Let me start. Okay. Bader, fantastic series. Good for him. He is a career league average hitter.
Mm-hmm.
A league average hitter does a lot for this lineup.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to go on?
That's my.
Do you want me to counter that argument before I get into my other argument?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm gonna say.
Uh-huh.
Historically, his home road splits suck. He is the opposite of Coors Field. He just could not play in St. Louis, and he had he was like a 125 WRC plus guy on the road, and he also got to include that's for his career. He obviously got better with age than when he was younger. So I think he's better. I'm talking I think he's like a 120 WRC plus guy, 125.
Right.
Especially if Judge comes back, Glaber starts hitting, Volpe starts hitting, and you get more consistency around the lineup around him. I think he definitely will be hitting around a 125, and you maybe even see a peak of 130 because he missed time and you don't know how many a smaller sample size.
Maybe, but I can't see it. And the other thing for me is, look, he's not a injury-free player. He's coming back from the oblique, but
well, that's why I said smaller sample size because he's not going to play as much as other people would expect him to.
Right, I feel like you're happy if you get 100 games.
Yeah, and because the way that I see WRC plus, it's just creating runs, right?
Essentially.
Harrison Bader the Yankees scored 14 runs. I want you to guess how many Harrison Bader was responsible for either driving in or scoring himself this series.
All right, let's see.
Out of
He had a
14.
couple home runs. I'm gonna go with 9.
I hate you. You're so annoying.
A little more than half.
Dude, that's more than 3/5.
Right.
That's 65% of the runs were created by Harrison Bader. He is the definition of creating runs.
Yes,
so it's
he is WRC plus.
Dude, it should be Harrison Bader plus. Weighted Harrison Bader plus.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, in this series, he had 2 home runs, a triple, shit ton of hits.
Look, I think
a double away from the cycle today.
Right. I'm not going to call him an impact bat, but he's an impact player. Would you like me to
I know
differentiate?
I know what you mean.
Okay.
But I think that
He's not going to be a slugger, but he's going to get on base. He's going to steal bases. He's going to go first to third. He's going to score from first on a double. He'll hit a couple home runs here or there. But I don't think he's like an impact bat. But he is an impact bat when you have a guy with a negative WRC plus.
All that stuff adds to his bat. His ability to go first to third, ability to steal, that's a part of his
Has
repertoire.
nothing to do with his bat.
I honestly, like, not even like narratives aside, I believe it does.
I don't think
I
so.
believe Volpe's speed adds to his bat.
I don't think so.
That's just how I see it. Because a single's a double of Volpe. I see the same thing with Bader.
But I feel like once you're on base, that takes away from the at bat.
I just view that
You're not
as
batting anymore.
No, but when I think bat, I think your offense overall and the value you add to the offense.
No, two different things.
I don't know.
It's offense and then your bat. Your bat is home runs, doubles, triples, whatever you want to call it. Your offensive game then includes steals, speed, all that good stuff.
It's just a difference of philosophy.
Agree to disagree.
It's a difference of philosophy.
I suppose.
We'll stay on the happy train. So, DJ LeMahieu with runners in scoring position is officially back. Just put the league on notice. And 24 at-bats with runners in scoring position. He's 10 for 24 with a .417 batting average and 11 RBIs. His numbers are weird because he has 3 home runs. They're all solo shots. And, like, his numbers are, like, men not on base are, like, he's hitting, like, 250.
Right.
So he just, like, doesn't care when guys aren't on.
Yeah.
It's just, like, really...
I mean, it's just like, all right, let's get it over with, I guess.
Like, that's why he's a perfect 5-hole hitter and he's not a leadoff hitter. But I don't know.
Right.
I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Great to see because the last 2... He went from being, like, hitting, I think, like, 380 in 2 years of running a scoring position to, like, 220 over 2021 and 2022. So that's definitely great to see is that bats look significantly better with our scoring position than they have. Then I think I only have one more note on the offense. I only have one more note, on the offense in the majors at least. Little teaser. So just a question I was thinking about. When guys come back, does Oswaldo Cabrera get sent down? He's hitting on the year 188, a 218 on base percentage, 260 slugging for a 478 OPS, and that's not even the lowest on the team. But that's another argument.
Right.
It's like
I mean, he's probably the odd man out, unfortunately.
I will say this: he did go 2 for 3 with a walk and a stolen base today, and I think he had a sac fly.
All right.
Yeah, it is.
So hopefully maybe turning it around, but I do think he is the odd man out just because of options.
Let's think about it. So you got Judge and Stanton coming back. So that's probably Bowers and
Calhoun.
I don't know.
You would think, right?
It's so weird because they seem to love Calhoun. Right. He doesn't hit. He starts hitting, and then they bench him.
Right.
Like if he starts to hit, I'm all aboard playing him. But it's just that
they're benching him at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And has he been primarily DHing or has he played the field?
Yeah, I think he played the field once.
Right. So I feel like with Stanton coming back, that's kind of his spot. You know what I mean? So like.
Yeah, I agree.
Does he have options or would he have to be cut?
I think he'd have to be DFA'd. Oh no, we're DFAing Willie Calhoun.
No, I know, but still something to think about.
No, and kind of just something to piggyback off that is, because talking about Oswaldo to Oswald, do they just, like, think he's dead? Is he just not alive? Because, like, he seems fine after the ankle. He hasn't played since. And they just, like, don't like this kid. They just don't like him. Like,
I know. And it sucks, because, like, when he plays, it's not like he's, like, god-awful.
He's, like, a little
He's been pretty good,
league average offensively. I think he's, like, 75.
For a defensive first...
WRC plus.
Right, for a defensive first player, right, I would say.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
he has the best glove in the Yankees system.
Right, and an 85 WRC plus is better than Hicks's -10, or whatever the hell it was.
And it's also a thing of he's young, and he's not getting consistent at bats. You give him consistent
Right, that
at-bats.
ruins development.
Exactly. Let him at least... And we've talked about this. I'm not the biggest believer in his bat, but
Right.
I'm also a believer that it could be there. How are we supposed to know if it's
Yeah.
there if you're not giving him an
Yeah.
opportunity? Just prove that it is
Yeah.
there or isn't there. So it's
Right.
just... Yeah.
Because then they'll use it as an excuse. He plays like one every 5 days. He goes 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. It's like, oh, he's not ready.
Exactly.
But no, he's just not getting consistent at bats. How can you get into a groove if you're playing one game for every 5 games the team plays?
Exactly. It's just... Don't even get me started.
Mind-boggling.
It's dumb. We'll stay with the offense. Now we're gonna talk about 2 minor league players. I want you to guess who they are.
Jason Dominguez.
That's one of them.
Is one.
There's a third guy.
Only because I think they went back to back. Austin Wells.
Yeah. There was a
Okay.
third guy I was thinking about doing, Andres Triboro. I just want to say this: he started the year 0 for 29. He's up to a 250 batting average.
Huge.
Dude, he is. He is. He's a DH. He's a third baseman, first baseman, and DH. Probably just a DH in the majors if they do, but just give him a
Right.
shot, please.
I know.
Whatever. That's
what do you got to lose?
That's besides the point. So Austin Wells recently came back from a rehab assignment because of the fractured rib. He has 3 games in a row with a home run, and in his career he's played 60 games in Double-A. He has 15 home runs in those 60 career games. Keep in mind he's a catcher too, by the way. In 55 games last year, he had a 129 WRC plus. In 5 games this year, he has a 201 WRC plus, which is not including today's home run.
Right.
So he's just he should be called up AAA soon.
Right.
And a sneaky thing that I could see is if he hits AAA, I think he gets called up. But I don't think he's playing catcher.
Really?
I don't think he's playing catcher though.
Outfield?
Yeah. Because they were going into last year, they were giving him reps in left field. And even this year in spring training, they were planning on giving, before he fractured his rib, they were planning on giving him reps in left.
Interesting.
So I could definitely see it be as a thing of they're obsessed with Higgy, so they don't want to let go of Higgy. And if the outfield continues to be have left field as such a big hole, I could see them calling him up and later in the year, obviously, if he's able to produce, because he is 23 now, going to be 24 soon. So it's not like he's a young guy. Or he's young, but
he's young. I'd say so.
For Double-A, Triple-A, that's kind of the time when if you're going to make it, that's when you're going to make it.
Yeah, that's kind of the
cutoff.
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's just definitely something to watch out for. I think he would. I think Austin Wells is either going to be the next best catcher, or he's going to be a bust.
Right.
In my mind, there's no way he's average.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a very boomer bust prospect, something to note. Then Jason Dominguez started off putrid. I know his first 13 games, he was hitting 150, something like that. But in his last 11 games, he's hitting 276, 512 on base, 586 slugging, good for a 1.098 OPS, a 30.2 walk percentage, and a 208 WRC plus, and 5 extra base hits. That's.
I think that walk percentage is the thing that impresses me the most.
I don't know if he walked today, but before today's game, he had 24 walks in 22 games.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I feel like he's 20? Not even?
20, I think. Just turned 20.
I think, look
at Soto.
I feel like
that's why everyone was why everyone thought Soto, or the thing people pointed to Soto. I'm not calling him Soto, but the thing people pointed to for Soto when he first came up, why he was so good, was because of his eye.
Definitely. And I think when you're evaluating young hitters, especially, walking is huge. If they have the eye for it, because if they have the eye for it, they know, they have a good idea of the strike zone, and I feel like the bat will eventually catch up to that.
Exactly.
Which obviously for Dominguez it is, but for other guys, I think it's just a good walk percentage is just a telling of good things to come, I feel.
And we saw that in spring training too, where when he was facing at least AAA and some major league pitchers, he had some really good at bats. Some really long at bats. He may have gotten out, but it would be he would work the count, would
Mhm.
works a lot of walks. So I really like his outlook. And there was a thing that Michael Kay said that he talked to like a very trusted source and like that's very connected. And he could see a world where like if Dominguez continues to hit like this, that he could be fast tracked and called up this year.
I I feel like I think I've said this before. I don't see it. And look, I don't want to put like age as a factor,
Mm.
but it's something you need to take into account because I think maybe it's just my
Well, you can take age
uh
into a factor when you consider that like the birth certificates from the DR, there's like a history of some of them
oh
maybe
my
not.
gosh.
I'm not no, like I'm being serious.
No,
And how
yeah,
like Dominguez, like he looks like he could be older, but he also looks like he could be 19, 20.
right.
Like you saw that with
Look, and
Pujols too.
yeah, it might be my inherited PTSD from my father. But like, some young guys, Doc Gooden, Dale Strawberry, they come out really young, they're not entirely mature, they get into some trouble.
Hmm.
I think for me, I'm not I don't really care how good your bat is. I think maturity is definitely something that
Hmm.
matters. And I'm not saying he's immature.
Yeah.
I haven't watched him enough, but it's just something where I think calling up young players seemed like a good idea at the time,
Hmm.
but I'm just not sure how well mentally they can
Hmm.
take it.
Another reason
I
why,
think just the adjustment.
well, from what we've seen so far in spring training, like a lot of the interviews, he seems relatively mature, like pretty mature.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and there's no reason to believe he wouldn't be. So
Yeah.
my narratives say he is mature. Um,
Okay.
no, but
Understood.
something that I mentioned, I'm not sure if I mentioned on the podcast or if it was just me and you talking, but next year he has to be added to the 40 man.
Hmm.
So if you got to add him to the 40 man anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if
Right.
left field's such like a gaping hole and if he's like killing the ball that they don't give him a shot. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Right. And I mean, what you're talking like a September call up
Yeah.
type, or like, okay,
September call
not
up,
like
like
right.
maybe into August, something like that if he's like really killing
Yeah.
it in AAA.
Right.
So
It's not like you're calling him up in like mid
no,
July
no,
or
unless like
okay.
some bad shit's going on and he's
Yeah,
like,
if he's there
that's not
by
good.
then, then
That's
there's
not good.
probably a different issue to be
Yeah.
talking about. But all right,
You know what I mean?
I can kind of see it, but it's my thing with Alvarez. What they did with Alvarez,
Mm,
the Mets did with Alvarez last year. They called him up in like September, and then they barely played him,
mm,
and they just kind of threw him into the fire. And so far, it doesn't look like it's affected his development, but
mm,
it's just like that kind of like worry in the back of my head, like
mm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think it's probably like 90-10, 80-20 that it doesn't happen. But just
Yeah.
I don't know, something to note.
No,
Um,
it's definitely exciting. I
mhm,
won't discount that, but it's just I'm not sure. I'm very protective of my
I
prospects.
get
I
that.
think.
And one thing, last note on the offense, I completely forgot to say this, but did you know what the impact bat Harrison Bader did before
Uh,
the postseason last year?
what?
I don't know what they were exactly, but he made tweaks to his swing based off what Pete Alonso does. Like
Really?
he,
Oh, I think
I don't,
they were college teammates. I'm pretty
okay.
sure.
I can't remember exactly. I didn't read the article, but I
Something like
know
that.
that he changed his swing to incorporate some of Alonso's swing, and that was right
That's
before the
interesting.
postseason. So it's like
Yeah.
he's done nothing but hit with the new swing. So
Oh, I see it now. Hold on. Let me see if I could get it.
do 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 do.
I know. I'm sorry.
Nah, you're fine.
Okay. I think it's a bat. He picked it up.
Are you gonna go live or are you gonna?
No, it's so I don't I believe I would be breaking some form of law. Um, okay, so it looks like so Alonso gave Bader a signed bat.
Mhm,
He took some practice swings with the bat. He liked the handle of the bat. Resembled it was more like an axe,
mhm,
like the axe end instead of like a regular
mhm.
kind of like knobbed one.
Yeah.
This is a quote from the article by let me get the name
I want to say it was Goodwin.
by Brendan
Cuddy. Yes, Cuddy.
Cuddy. My mistake, but his swing felt smoother than it had in quite some time. Bader used his own version of the bat in Game 2 against the Guardians, and then he stuck with it with the rest of the playoffs, crushing 4 of his whopping 5 postseason home runs with the new wood.
Yeah.
And then he brought it into this season, and it's been working, I guess.
Hey, you guys.
I suppose.
Yeah, we love mouthguard Bader. All right.
Yeah.
Now on to some onto the pitching now. I just want to talk about. I want to quote you. When we were doing the murder mystery on Thursday, what was it that you said about the bullpen?
The murder mystery. I don't even remember what I said.
You said the Yankees only have 1 or 2 guys that are reliable in the bullpen.
Yes. Okay, I remember that.
I want you to guess what team leads in Major League Baseball with the lowest bullpen ERA.
I know their bullpen is really good. I know they have a great ERA for the bullpen, but it might just be, not watching enough games. But look, you can't trust Holmes.
Mm-hmm. I got something about that, but go on.
Okay, but I like Ron Marinaccio. I think Wandy's solid, but he has his moments. Michael King should be used a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So I think 3, maybe. I think who closed out the game? I'm forgetting his name. I think is it Hamilton. Yeah, he's been pretty good, right?
I got 4 guys. I got some stats.
Okay, go ahead. Prove me wrong.
Ian Hamilton in 19 innings pitched has a 1.42 ERA with a 10.89 strikeout per 9, a 2.04 FIP, and 1 save. Michael King is 20 innings pitched, a 1.35 ERA with 2 saves. Ron Marinaccio 15.1 innings pitched, 1.76 ERA. Wandy Peralta 13 innings pitched, 2.08 ERA.
4.
And
okay.
I think you can make an argument for 5. With
Ooh.
Clay Holmes, but not in the way you think. Not in the way you think.
Low.
In save opportunities, he's been absolutely horrible. But last night, the game was give me half of a second. Did they score in the 9th or the 8th? 8th. Okay, so they had the lead then. In the 8th inning, he pitched a really good inning yesterday. Today, he pitched a great 7th inning when it was tied. I think he's just not a closer.
Right.
He crumbles when he's a closer, but when he's not a closer, he's actually really good. So
right.
I honestly think it's just a thing of that he can't close. Because there's
he can't
guys
close
that
out
happens.
games.
Or they can't close.
It's a mental thing, definitely.
So I think as much as I've hated Clay Holmes recently, or hated on him, I think that him not as a closer is a very good reliever.
Right.
So I think that if that trend continues to happen, you can make a stronger argument for 5 guys. And then 5 players on the Yankees. I'm hungry.
Uh-huh.
No, yeah. And then Canley coming back, you don't know. Hopefully you get something there.
Yeah.
And that may be 6. And you got...
I think it probably was recency bias, that maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like when I said that, I think the bullpen has kind of been blowing games a little bit. Or maybe it's just been Clay Holmes, and I just kind of walloped everything into one. But, look, the Yankees, I think the bullpen is the least issue.
The least of their concerns.
Yes, it's not up there. It's,
Not even, it's literally their strength.
It's probably the best thing
It's their strength by
right now.
far.
Right.
So.
I think, you know what it is? I think middle relief is good. But that closer role just can't seem to lock it down.
I like it by committee, honestly.
Right.
I think King should get the lion's share, especially because I picked him up in fantasy. But Ian Hamilton, he got a save. He looked absolutely lights out, and he's a scary motherfucker on the mound. He looks so scary. Marinaccio, I think, could have future potential to be a closer in him. He hasn't had a save opportunity in his career, pitched this year and last year. But I think he legitimately, if they give him a shot, I could see him doing well. Wandy, I think, matchups maybe he could be a pretty solid
Yeah.
closer, but I don't know. I think that you have 4 guys that you could have like a rotation as the closer, and then having King take the lion's share.
Right. I can see it. Yeah. I don't know. I guess.
Because people forget. Sorry to cut you off. People forget how
Yeah, you're good.
absolutely elite King was before he broke his elbow, and he seems
Right.
even better. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. I think maybe I'm just a little old school, I guess, when I like my closer kind of, like I like my Edwin Diaz is the closer,
well, there's only like
like
3
you
of
have
those
that
guys in the
lock.
league.
Right.
Because I was talking to my mom about this, because my mom was watching the pregame, and she said, like, oh, the Yankees don't have a solidified closer. But my response was, I kind of like that for them.
Right.
Because think about it this way. Edwin Diaz pitches 2-3 days in a row. You're not going to pitch him again. What if you're in another save situation? You're going to bring in guys like, say you didn't have Robertson. You're going to bring in, like, Ottavino, who's, like, maybe. So it's a thing of, like, I'd rather have a lot of guys that know they can close the game and who are very consistent. And if you know, they're kind of burnt out. I don't want to do it. But we have this guy who could pitch who has a really good matchup. Because you could just play matchups.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I kind of like it for the Yankees situation.
Yeah. Fair enough, because I feel like there's only so many elite closers.
You got, let's see,
in the
Hader,
league.
Clase, Diaz, RIP.
And I'd argue Devin Williams, but
even then, he's had his moments.
pick and choose. Yeah.
Maybe Hendricks when he comes back. Who knows? But like that's 3 guys. One of them's hurt, and 2 guys that are like maybe.
Right.
So it's like, that just proves my point. That it's like Clay Holmes looked like Jesus Christ incarnate, and then now look at him. So it's like, yeah.
Right,
You got anything
fine.
else to add for like the overall thoughts?
Whatever. No. I get it. Whatever.
Okay,
Just
I'm
attacking
sorry,
me.
Sorry that I'm right, and I'm sorry that all your narratives are wrong and mine are right.
Oh my god. No, but
Sorry that I used numbers to back up my
I
argument.
like to look at the positive things. What was that?
Sorry that I used numbers to back up my argument. You're the numbers guy and you're hating the numbers.
Yeah, I know. That's why I can't talk, because you proved me wrong completely. But regardless, I think there's a lot to take. There's a lot of good to take. There's a lot of good to take from the series. I think it's just the Rays kind of outclassed the Yankees a little bit. Like I said, they kind of just took advantage of the little things, but
this game
there's
could
a
have
lot to
easily
like.
been a sweep.
Yeah.
Either
I
way,
mean, what,
this
you
game could have
said-
been a sweep either way. So it's
Right.
like
It's just the little things.
I don't hate this series. I know a lot of people are gonna like think sky's falling, but I don't hate it.
Yeah.
So,
Look, I know, given the context of where everyone is, but there's a lot. Look, I'm gonna keep saying it until it's not, but it's early.
yeah.
We just got to May, so there's
Some
a lot
teams
of
are
baseball
under
left.
500.
Right.
Then on to a really quick look ahead. They have a 3-game set versus Oakland at Yankee Stadium. Game 1 is old friend J.P. Sears versus Nestor Cortez. Sears never pitched against the Yankees, but he has not pitched well this year. Nestor Cortez has had 1 start he's had a couple, but most of them were relief appearances. I think he only had 1 start against Oakland in 12.1 innings pitched, has a 4.36 ERA, but he hasn't faced them since August 2021. So that was like a while ago. Who knows?
Yeah.
Game 2 is Drew Rukinski. He was on the Marlins. Versus Clark Schmidt. Rukinski has only faced the Yankees once, where he pitched 2 innings, no earned runs, but that was back in 2018 with Miami. So that, might as well never face them.
Yeah, it's just
Clark versus
too far back.
Clark versus Oakland, he has 1 start. In that 1 start, he went 4 1/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, no bueno. Then game 2 expected Aaron Judge to be activated. Game 3, Kyle Muller versus Joni Brito. Neither have faced the other team. And just some interesting statistics. I had to do some research on these. The first one I did not. Aaron Judge versus Oakland in 30 games. He's hitting .295 with 10 home runs. Aaron Judge just being Aaron Judge. I literally went through 10 guys.
Oh boy.
Willie Calhoun versus Oakland. In 28 games, he's hitting .272 with 4 home runs.
Sure.
I literally looked through so many guys, and everyone was like pedestrian against the A's. Bader never played
Yeah.
them. Just
Really?
yeah.
Interesting.
I just
But Willie hey,
yeah.
let's have a good
I had
series.
to do some research on that one. And Brent Rooker from the Oakland Athletics, the best player in baseball this year.
Yeah, I know. Where
He's
did he
hitting
come from?
.330 Minnesota. He's hitting.
Thanks.
You're welcome. He's hitting .330 with a .440 on base, .716 slugging for a .115.6 OPS with 10 home runs. The on base slugging and OPS all three lead the MLB. Yeah, he's getting traded at the deadline.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say
He is 100% getting traded at the deadline.
but he's an outfielder,
Is
so
righty or
he's
lefty?
going to be traded. He's a righty,
Damn.
so he's being traded to.
The Padres for Juan Soto.
Oh my
He has
God!
better numbers than Soto.
He does. Let's see. We're gonna book it now. He's an outfielder, right-handed outfielder who's gonna get traded to Cleveland.
You're saying Cleveland?
Cleveland.
I could see that.
Because there's no way he doesn't get traded at this point.
I'm gonna go. He's going to be traded to the stalling
noise.
To the Yokotomi Sharks.
Sure.
I think that's
Okay.
the place they're from. I know Sharks is a KBO team. Okay.
He's getting traded one way or another.
He will not be
There's
on
no
the
way he
Oakland
doesn't.
Athletics. I will give
No.
my guarantee.
Yeah, I mean,
This isn't an A's podcast.
it's not. So we don't care.
Yeah. So
Unless he gets traded to our team.
Yes, then we really or into the division.
Then we care.
Then we care.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's all I really got. Cashman sucks. A lot of people are going to look down on the series more than I am. I think there's a lot of positives with Judge coming back. Please just win baseball games. Sevy coming back, I think that's very underrated soon. Yeah.
Sweep the A's.
Yeah.
This is a team you sweep.
Yes. I'm looking at you,
Want to get
Aaron
into
Hicks.
Queens?
Yeah, let's get into Queens.
All right, see you there.
Now entering Queens.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Queens, where the Mets lost yet another series to the Colorado Rockies.
Let's go, Colorado Rockies!
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's because I'm a Rockies fan.
Yes, known Rockies
Known
fan.
Colorado sports fan, Justin Alonso. Let's go. How about the
But
Avalanche?
before we get into that, yeah, how about them Avalanches? All right. Before we get into that, as always, your injury report brought to you by Triboro MD. Not too much to talk about, but
Lucky bastard.
Carlos Carrasco, Carlos Carrasco, who is dealing with a bone spur issue. He did have a setback, but not due to the bone spur. Apparently, he became a little ill, some illness, so was just taking a couple days off of rehab. Should only push him like another day or two, nothing serious. And then Brooks Raley, who's been on the IL for a little over a week. He's on track. I think he said that he took a break from pitching for like a day, but he's on track to aiming for Saturday to bring him back. So hopefully we get our lefty back. But that's about it. So how about them Rockies? How about
I
them
think
Rockies?
a piece of 2 at 25 away from making a real run.
Yeah. They're not. Which is the issue. Which is why the
Wait, they're
Mets
not
shouldn't be
25
losing these
pieces
games.
away from making a run.
I'd say like 23.
23.
A whole new pitching staff, but that's besides the fact. But again, the Mets did lose this series. They won one game, which was the first game. So let's get into it. All right, so game one, Kodai Senga on the mound had about think it was 8 or 9 days of rest since his last start, and arguably his best start of the season. 6 innings pitched, wow. 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. I think he looked great. Obviously his command, I feel like his command's always going to be an issue. I think that's going to be his thing. Obviously, I feel like that's already
Been known.
Yeah. He's always going to walk a few guys, but 4 and 6 innings, not too bad.
Not what you want to see.
I mean, no, but I mean, look, when you give up 2 hits, besides that, and you strike out a couple, he limited the traffic. You know what? I will say, the 4 walks, 2 of them came in the first inning.
Okay.
So for the next 5 innings, he only walked 2 batters. So,
settled in, maybe.
You know, still not great, but look, it's something. But look, he looked great, and the pitching really needed to give us this game because this was a 1-0 win for the Mets. The only run coming off a Brandon Nimmo solo shot. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a close game, obviously, 1-0, very tight knit. Everyone was kind of like on their game defensively, pitching. I will say they went 0-6 with runners in scoring position, so it's not like they didn't really have many chances. They had a good couple of chances, but never really got another hit in. But look, pitching picked them up, which is you love to see because the same cannot be said for the rest of the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Game 2. Tyler McGill on the mound. He started rough. His first, I want to say, 7-8 pitches. Don't even get him. You're sidetracking me. You got me. I was about to say something. No. We don't need to talk about it anymore. Tyler McGill started the game with like 7-8 pitches out of the zone, and not particularly close either. It's not like he was just missing. So he racked up a pitch count pretty quick. He went 4 2/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Not great.
Especially against the Rockies. You look at all their players, their home run splits are like...
Right. And they said this on the broadcast. I don't have the numbers in front of me. The Rockies are one of the better The Rockies are one of the better teams hitting the fastball. And one of the worst teams hitting literally anything else. So in my mind...
help me hit curveball.
Yeah. In my mind, I would not be pitching these Rockies like very minimal fastballs. You know, I'd be working on my slider, my curveball, my changeup, and then maybe a fastball for a strikeout, or maybe just to change speeds. But Tyler McGill was a fastball, fastball. And look, I know that's like the go-to when you don't have your stuff. Yeah. It's just like, I can kind of lean on my fastball. But when it's a team that chases out of the zone, can't hit anything else besides a fastball, what are you doing?
That could be part of the reason why Senga did so well.
Right, yeah, he was mixing up everything. He had a couple sliders, his ghost fork. And the fastballs he did throw were, like, pretty accurate. Like, just off the black, getting guys to chase, things like that. But unfortunately, this was a 5-2 Mets loss. The 2 runs, both coming off of RBI groundouts. So Alonso RBI groundout and then a Lindor RBI groundout. I was in the first inning and the third inning, and then they did not score again. 7 hits, and once again, 0-6 with runners in scoring position. Just not great. I mean, Steven Nagosic came out after McGill, and he had one bad pitch, which I think it was like a hanging slider that was deposited right to the left field left field seats. So it was a lot closer than I feel like the score shows, but again, the offense just really didn't show up. I mean, look, 0-6, runners to score position, leaving 7 guys on base, just not a winning formula.
That happened again? Same thing?
Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, 0-6.
I didn't know if that was like you were referencing the game before.
No.
Okay.
Back-to-back
I wasn't
games,
actually trying to
0-6
be
with
like a
runners
dick
in
or
scoring
anything. I was like
position.
actually asking.
No. Yeah. But game 3, the heartbreaker. This one stung. So, game 3 starter is Joey Lucchesi, who's coming off I think 4 days rest. So 3 or 4 days.
4's normal, right?
So 5, I'd say.
I
Let's see. He pitched. I think he pitched that Wednesday game. Yeah, he pitched Wednesday, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 days rest.
okay.
So Wednesday against the Tigers, he pitched like 50 pitches. This game, he only lasted like 70. But 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. I mean, a guy coming off short rest, I can't exactly fault him. You know, he kept the Mets in the game. I mean, 3 runs, not fantastic, but it's not like he imploded.
Yeah.
But a quick scoring summary for the Mets. Colorado went up 1-0 in the top of the first, but the Mets answered right back with a Jeff McNeil RBI single and then a Beatty 2 RBI single. Loved that. 5-hole hitter Beatty, might I add. But Beatty 2 RBI single, so the Mets answered right back with 3 runs in the bottom of the first to take a 3-1 lead. Colorado would then come back with 2 runs in the third, but Mets answered back in the fourth with a McNeil RBI single, an infield single, I might add, which probably should have been a double play, but we take it. And then the implosion.
Ball don't lie.
So because Lucchesi only went 4 innings, obviously you're going to need a couple multi-inning guys. And so the Mets turned to Jimmy Yacobonis, who was nearly perfect in Detroit for his multiple innings. Cannot say the same here.
He was the opposite
Jimmy
of nearly
Yacobonis
perfect.
lasted. He got 1 out, 3 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks. Tommy Hunter came in, and in 2 2/3, he let up 4 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts.
Hey, he struck out every batter he got out.
Oh. So, the Mets lost this game 13-6. They scored again off a Guillorme RBI single and a Vogelbach solo home run. Where do I even begin? Where do I even begin? You lose 13-6 off of Rockies, who are not a great baseball team. Could be worse, but they're not great. They have a couple guys, but you should not be losing 13-6. Right now, these Mets are not a good baseball team.
You drop 1 game, whatever, shit happens, but to lose a series to the Rockies at home is like...
Right. Yeah. Sunday game, rubber match, and you lose 13-6. The Mets are just not a good team right now.
No.
They've lost. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games.
They're not playing like a good team right now.
Yeah.
I think they're a good team, but
they're not playing like a good team. Yeah, I agree. That sounds a little better. I think that kind of encapsulates what's going on. I will say, the Sunday lineup was a nice change because before recording, after game 1, after game 2, I was ready. Things need to change. The lineup needs to be shaken up. Something has to give. So, today and Sunday, the Mets rolled out a sort of new lineup. You got, Nimmo's always leading off. Then you got Lindor in the 2-hole, McNeil, Alonso, Beatty. 1 through 5. I love that 1 through 5.
Say it one more
I
time.
think as of right now, Nimmo,
Okay.
Lindor, McNeil,
Okay.
Alonso, Beatty.
Weren't you calling for something almost exactly like that?
Yeah, something like that. And the main part of it is I hate to say it, but no Starling Marte.
Mm-hmm.
Marte sat Sunday's game. I mean, first game they score 1 run, second game they score 2. A lineup with no Marte, they score 6, and then the Mets. I mean, look, they scored 6 throughout the game, and the Mets scored 3 in the bottom of the first. They answered right back.
Yeah.
Nimmo got on, Lindor got on, McNeil scores, hits a RBI, and then Beatty hits a two RBI single. So I think this is a change that needed to happen.
Hmm.
Marte is just... I hate to say it, but Marte is just not great.
Mm-hmm.
His OPS dropped below 600. He's hitting like 220.
If only I could have guys that had OPSs barely under 600. I wish I could have that. You ungrateful son of a bitch.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But he's just not... I don't know what it is. It's frustrating because obviously big Marte guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's not the player who he is, and I think he knows he's struggling, and I think he's pressing a little bit probably. But, Nimmo gets on, and then it's like he grounds into a double
Yeah.
play. Or Nimmo gets on, and then he strikes out. Or something. Just uncompetitive at-bats that just don't look great. And look, I'll give him benefit of the doubt. He's coming off double groin surgery over the offseason. He's been having a little bit of a neck issue. So he might be playing hurt. But the Mets are on a stretch, I guess, where they're not playing great, and they can't really have Marte struggling like that. So I like the lineup changes. I think Beatty has been more than you can ask for so far. He's been great. Should have been here from the start, but that's regardless. That's besides the point. I like the lineup, but at the same time, I feel like no matter who you put in that bottom three, the bottom three Sundays game, Canna and Guillermo Alvarez. Alvarez put up some fight. He went 1 for 3 with a hard struck double and a walk, but Canna went 1 for 5. Guillermo went 2 for 4. I mean, and it's like, it's not like they're getting hits in good timing. It's like, a single, but that doesn't do anything. Look, I know Guillermo is, a defensive replacement type of guy. I don't think you can I don't think you can give at-bats to Guillermo over Escobar, where I feel like Escobar has a little more upside. He has a bit more of a better track record when it comes to hitting. And they played Escobar at second base on... Exactly. Guillermo has like 2 career home runs, and he's been here for a bit. I know he's a bench guy and doesn't get a lot of at-bats, but still. Escobar, he played second on Saturday's game. He looked a little rusty. He hasn't played second since 2001, I think.
What?
But he had... Yeah.
What year?
2021. Did I say 2001?
Yeah. I was like, what?
Yes, it's been 20... He's been in the league for 20 years. Maybe that's the issue. Yeah. But... Yeah, I think Escobar needs some more ABs. I'd like to see Escobar in rather than, Guillermo at second base. I'd rather see Escobar in rather than Tommy Pham, who I feel like hasn't gotten a hit in. Yeah, don't remember the last time the guy got a hit. Well, I lied. He had a good series in Detroit. I'll give him that. But man, I don't see it with him. I know he's there for like fourth outfielder, so like I'm not expecting a lot, but
when you have Cano who's not playing well, Marte who's not playing well, then it's like
exactly. It just not glorifies, like heightens it, I guess.
highlights him more.
Yeah. Just look, he has a 98 OPS plus right now, which
But you take out that
is
first
fine.
like week of when he was playing. It's like the Franchi Cordero effect. You take out like the first week of what he was doing, then what are his numbers like?
Right. And I feel like it might be a little bit of nitpicking, but
I feel like he's a guy
just
you
in
can
this
nitpick with though.
yeah,
Because of his
because he's a
career.
fourth outfielder, and because he's he's man, I never liked to sign him to begin with, and just like anytime he does bad, it's like, see, I told you.
Which like you
Old
can't,
man
which,
yelling
like,
at
you
clouds.
can't in baseball because you're supposed to
I
fail,
know.
but like he's failing more
Right,
than he's
but
supposed to.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Right. Look, there's so much I could say about this team that has already been said. But something I will say is stop blaming the offense. I think that narrative is done and over with. The offense is not the problem. They scored 6 runs today. You know what is the problem? The pitching staff that gave up 13.
Yeah.
6 runs is 6 runs is a good game for an offense. You're not going to score 6 runs every
I want to say
game.
the Yankees led the league in runs at 5.5 in 2019. So with the juiced balls, they had 5.5, and they were the best in baseball.
Right.
So 6 is a really
Exactly.
good amount. It's a solid amount.
6 should win you a baseball game.
7 should win you a baseball game. I'm looking at you, Garrett.
But man, this pitching staff is rough. It's not. Stop it. Let me pull it up. Let me make myself sad.
I'll stall.
No. The Mets pitching staff is currently ninth worst in ERA with a 4.74. Let's do some. They have walked the 3rd most batters. Yeah. They have given up the 10th most runs, and they have given up the 3rd most home runs. Their whip is 1.36. The pitching staff is the problem.
Yeah.
It's not the offense. I'm more confident in the offense than the pitching staff. The offense will come around, like today, 6 runs, nothing to scoff at. Look, and Nimmo has been hot and cold. Lindor has been like consistently good, but he hasn't gone hot yet, I don't think. Alonso cooled off a lot. McNeil is having a little bit of stretches. Beatty has been good. But Canna, who else? Yeah, Marte. And I will say, for catching, I cannot understand putting in Tomas Nido over Alvarez. Like you want to like cite defense is the issue. It's not anymore. Let's see.
The baseball
Francisco Alvarez. Yeah. Let's see. Francisco Alvarez right now is currently very good at framing.
I'll get Nito's, by the way, while you're doing that. Is it with an H or no H?
No H. Francisco Alvarez currently is 96th percentile in framing.
Ooh.
Very good.
Mm.
He has this is a new stat, by the way. He has 2 catcher framing runs, and he has a strike rate of 58
I want you to
53.8.
I want you to guess Nito's framing.
I don't want to know.
52nd.
There you go. Neat.
That's crazy.
For a defensive first catcher, and for a guy who was nominated for a Gold Glove last year, you can't have that. Alvarez is better right now defensively than Nito.
And Miles
Alvarez should be getting
better offensively with how much more upside?
miles. Like, forget his stats right now. Alvarez has so much more upside than Nito that you have to play him. And again, you cannot cite defense as a reason not to. Because obviously, Alvarez right now is the better defender. He's a better framer. He's been a better blocker. He's getting a lot more strike calls. He's the better catcher right now. And you cannot...
I was just going to say, it's the Oswald Peraza debate. Where it's like, he may be like around the same, maybe a little better than other guys, like an IKF or something that you could play over him, like if you mix around some positions. But it's like his upside and his youth should just give him the nod. And to not is just like embarrassing, frankly.
It is, because Nito gives you nothing offensively. Nothing. He's basically a pitcher who's going to sack bunt every time he's up if there's a guy on. And in the world of a DH, like, are you kidding me? Like, the whole I could go on this for like hours,
Do you want me to cut you off with something else? Because we're on the topic of catchers, and it made me think about Nito. I want you to guess what percentile Kyle Higashioka is in framing.
What is it?
3. A defensive first backup catcher, 3rd percentile in framing.
Yikes.
I'm sorry, I just got curious on that, so I looked that up. Go on.
Yeah, not great. But, look, it's frustrating. Because I feel like the Mets are known for pitching. That's kind of their thing. And the pitching is just not there.
Yeah.
Look, your rotation right now, look, you got Max back. You got Verlander back. Verlander looked good. Max didn't. But after that, you got Senga, who's been okay. He's adjusting. I can't really harp on him too much. But then you had David Peterson, who was atrocious. He got sent down. Tyler McGill, who's barely a 5-inning pitcher. Joey Lucchesi, who's just coming off of Tommy John. And look, I can sit here and be like, oh, the injuries. Because look, the rotation in the offseason was Scherzer, Verlander, Senga, Quintana, Carrasco. Carrasco's hurt. Quintana's hurt. You just got back Scherzer and Verlander. Peterson and McGill were your 6th and 7th starters. Lucchesi was maybe your 7th, arguably lower, because you also have guys like Jose Buto. So I can sit here and talk about injuries, but I think the rotation is on the shoulders of Scherzer and Verlander.
Which is
pitching like the guys who signed them for.
Which is also like a thing of...
Go ahead.
Can you really rely on that? Not
exactly.
to their fault. Literally to Father's Time fault.
Right. And look, you went into the season without Jose Quintana, without Bryce Montes de Oca, who could have been in the bullpen, without Diaz, obviously, who's in the bullpen. Sam Coonrod was going to be in the bullpen. Right. You start without Verlander. Eliezer Hernandez, who was another option for a long relief. Steven Ridings, who doesn't exist.
He just got put on the 60-day, right?
Yeah. And there's more that I'm missing.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing
so
because I forgot
yes.
Steven Ridings existed.
Yeah. So there's more than I'm missing. And this bullpen, I feel, could have been a lot better than it is right now. You know, you're missing Diaz. You're missing someone like Montes de Oca. You're missing Coonrod, who looked really good in spring. Excuse me.
You're
But,
excused.
thank you. But, look, the bullpen right now is shot. Because these starting... I feel like I say this every pod, every episode. These pitchers are going 5 innings. If that. If they can even make 5 innings.
They are.
Which is why... Yes,
They're
they are hitting a wall.
Hitting a wall.
That's why you have to rely on, you know, the Jimmy Yacobonis and the Tommy Hunter and the Jeff Brighams to give you 2-3 innings at a time. You know, these guys aren't getting rest.
It's unfair to both sides. Like,
yes.
You shouldn't... It's unfair to them because they're being relied on for something that is just not their skill set. And it's also, like, a disservice almost to the team that you are relying on guys that you know will not work as, like, an excuse to, like, roster management or, like, whatever the excuse is.
Right. Your bullpen right now, David Robertson, Adam Ottavino, and Drew Smith. Great. That's your 7, 8, 9 right there. But then Steven Nagosic, who's been solid, he's your solid 2-inning guy. But when you need a 2-inning guy every game, that's when you rely on the Tommy Hunters and the Jimmy Yacobonises. Exactly. And look, these guys aren't bad by any means, but when you're using them so much for multiple innings at a time, that's when they have bad outings. Jimmy Yacobonis pitched 2 innings in the Detroit series. He gets like 2-3 days off, and he's asked to pitch multiple innings again. What I mean? It's frustrating because I feel like this team should be a lot better because I know Twitter is a place.
Oh, Twitter is a place.
It's a place.
Thank you, Elon.
Yeah, basically. And everyone is, you know, coming for the offense, you know. DFA Vogelback, cut Escobar, option Guillorme, bring up Mauricio, bring up Vientos. I want to talk about them for a second. Vientos, sure, I get it. He's mashing the ball. I don't think he can learn anything else in AAA. He's a major league ready player. The issue with Vientos, he doesn't have a position. You're going to play him at third base over Beatty? He's a righty. He's a third base, first baseman, basically.
Okay. So where would you play him?
Yeah, you're going to play him over Beatty? No. You're going to play him over Alonso? No. Are you going to play him over Vogelback against a righty? Contrary to popular belief, Vogelback is good.
I'm shocked that we have to say that.
I know. Let me get up his splits right now. Because he's had a couple at-bats against the lefties that kind of skew it. When he shouldn't be playing against lefties. That's just not his thing.
You can't be...
You ready for this? Against right-handed pitching, Vogelback is hitting .293 with an .844 OPS, a .431 on-base percentage. .431.
Is his slugging lower than his on-base?
Yes, that's the issue.
No, I just did like some quick math but go on.
Yeah, you know, because he's the DH. He's a big guy. He should be hitting home runs. That's not his game. We talked about it like off camera, but I think it's his lack of slugging is heightened because he gets on base, but no one's there to drive him in.
I was about to say the only solution, and I don't think they should do this, is to put him in the top 3 of the order. You know what I mean?
Right, which you're just not going to do. Which, yeah, I get it. I would agree, but, you know, that 1, 2, 3 is almost set with or without Marte.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Marte instead of... Right, exactly. Arguably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, you're not going to mix it up that much. But, look, Vogelback is a solid player. You're not going to cut him. You're not going to DFA him. He has his uses. So I don't think you should bring up Vientos to be the other half of a DH.
I would agree.
Because Vientos is hitting right-handed pitching. So he should be playing every day. He just doesn't have a position. Mauricio. I understand he had a great spring. He was very entertaining. I don't think he's Major League ready.
What is
The
he
other
in
thing
again?
is
he in AAA?
He is in AAA, yes. He's a shortstop. Obviously, you're not going to play him over Lindor.
Oh, yeah, because
They started playing... Yes, because Lindor sucks. Because he's hitting 215 or whatever. With, a 750 OPS, but regardless. Mauricio, right now, he's in AAA. He's hitting 333 with a 951 OPS, 81 slugging, but 370 on base.
Mm.
Great. You want to know what his career on base percentage is?
Is it under 300?
No. But it's not much more than that.
307.
305. 305. In 2022, he had a 296 on base. 2021, 296. 2019, 307. 2018, 304.
That's horrible. That's
really
horrible.
Bad. And I know it's one of those things where, like, okay, so he's just not going to get on base.
That's kind of the name of the game.
Right, and that's the Mets' philosophy.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, the Mets want to work pitchers, they want to take their walks, and they want to string hits together. That's what they are. I understand they need more power, and Mauricio definitely brings that. 581 slugging. I understand that. But Mauricio is not going to play shortstop over Lindor. I don't even think he's going to play second over McNeil.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you can move McNeil to the outfield, but still. I don't think Mauricio is ready. He's like 20. What? He's 21, turning 22. Yeah, no, I lied. It's already May. He's 22. So he has a lot of room to grow. But I don't think he's ready yet. And I get it. It's easy to say, oh, just cut this guy, cut that guy, option Guillorme. Guillorme has a use whether you like it or not. He's your late game defensive replacement. And you cannot build a roster off of sluggers on the bench. So, you know what? Go ahead. Option Guillorme, you have Mauricio. Okay. Cut Vogelback, you have Vientos. DFA Escobar and for Vientos, whatever you want to say. That's not good roster management.
No.
You have Nito as your backup catcher. Guillorme is your defensive replacement. Escobar, which I feel who should be playing a bit more, he's your pinch hitter. And I don't even know what else, backup infielder as well. And then Tommy Pham, who's your backup outfielder. You're not going to... The only guy I can maybe see cutting is Pham.
Yeah.
Because, you can maybe get away with using McNeil as a fourth outfielder. Even though he's going to play every day, you can shift him to the outfield whenever. But it's just not good roster management to, cut everyone and bring up all the prospects.
I had a question. Do you think there is a world where, whether it be injuries or guys getting cut so much in the outfield, like say that Tommy Pham gets cut, one of the outfielders goes on the IL, do you think there's a world where Beatty gets moved to the IL, they call Vientos to play third? Or Beatty gets moved to the outfield. I think I said outfield or IL. I don't remember what I said, but
you said IL. I was like, wait a minute.
Beatty to the outfield.
I wouldn't put it out of the question. I mean, he has played some left field in the minors. Not a lot, but they have tested him there.
I could use a left fielder.
Yeah. I think the more likely option, outcome. The more likely outcome in a situation like that is you play McNeil in the outfield every day. You have Escobar at second base. keep Beatty at second.
Okay. Third.
I mean, third. I think that's the more likely outcome. But I would not be opposed to trying Beatty in the outfield. And, maybe calling up Vientos to play third.
I don't know. That's just a
I
random
wouldn't
thought
be
that
against
I had.
that. Right. But no, I wouldn't be against that. But look, the offense isn't the issue. It's the pitching.
No.
The pitching is like bottom 10 at least in like almost every major category.
In bottom 5,
They're-
bottom 3, and a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They're not pitching deep into games. You're overworking the bullpen. And that's when you get beat, when you're relying on these, on these guys who arguably shouldn't be on the major league roster.
Exactly.
So I am sick, I guess, of people complaining about the offense and, this is a bad team and they should have done more in the off season. They should have signed more pitching.
Wait.
Okay.
They should have.
Let me
They
enter-
should have done more in the off season.
Right. Let me just
Bro.
entertain that.
If you're gonna
You want more pitching?
make an argument
ahead,
about
wait.
them needing more in the off season, the only way that you can make that argument is on the offensive side, because they did pretty much
Right.
nothing for the offense in the off season. But in the off season, all they
Off-season.
did was add pitching. All they did was
Exactly.
add pitching, and you could say it one
Exactly.
way or the other. The reality is, all of them got hurt. It could be a thing of there was guys with injury. I don't think the guys had injury histories, but all the guys got hurt. How is that? That could just be poor roster management or whatever. They got pitching. How could you say they didn't
Exactly.
get pitching? I wish the
Exactly.
Yankees went so hard after pitching like that or hitting. I just don't think.
Yeah, that's how I feel. You basically have to rebuild a starting rotation from scratch. The only person you had under
How many Cy
contract
Youngs
was
in the last 2
Scherzer.
years have you added to that rotation?
Right.
Six?
You
Five,
have
6?
Yeah. Something like that. You have Scherzer under contract. You have Carrasco under contract, and that was it. And then you add Senga, you add Quintana. Senga, everyone wanted to sign, and he's been pretty good so far. He's been, adjusting. Quintana, no one could tell you they were going to find a tumor on his rib and he wouldn't need surgery. That's just it. Freak injury. Thank God he's okay, but no one's going to say that. Verlander, yeah, he got hurt. You know who else got hurt? And I'm sorry, Carlos Rodon hasn't pitched yet.
Oh!
I know, but there were no other
Jacob
elite
DeGrom's on the IL
pitchers.
as well.
DeGrom is on the IL already. So who are you signing? Tell me. Who else do you want?
And I just want to say this
You
too
gotta-
about Senga.
Yeah.
Senga was I was trying to think of a comparison. The best one that I could think of was a prime Madison Bumgarner, where he was just
Right.
absolutely money, incredibly just a dude in the postseason, is responsible for so many rings over in Japan, and you're telling me
Yeah.
you wanted that guy, and now
Yeah. You wanted Verlander, you wanted Senga. You got him. And it's not feasible to be like, all right, then just sign Rodon. No. Steve Cohen may have all the money in the world, but there's a limit. And you had to rebuild a starting rotation. You had to rebuild a bullpen.
and most of this.
And the Diaz injury is a freak injury that no one could have seen coming. And before that, they were arguably one of the better bullpens in baseball.
And you could also say Steve Cohen has so much money, but you gotta realize it's at the point where pretty much all of it's coming out of his pocket. Like, it's not coming out of the Mets
Exactly.
revenue or whatever. It's coming out of his pocket, whether it be like luxury tax stuff or just being over what the Mets are gonna make in a year. A significant amount
Yeah.
of that money. And if you guys are still over the luxury tax in like the third year or whatever, I think like 70% of it is gonna be coming out of his pocket. 75%.
Exactly.
So you can't say he's not spending money.
Right, and everyone is quick. Fire Buck, fire Epler. And look, this is not me defending Epler. He's okay. He's nothing special. But you cannot tell me he built a bad roster. This rotation going into the year this isn't just me saying it. A lot of other people said it. A lot of other executives said it. one of the better
We
rotations
were
in
having the
baseball.
argument, what's the best rotation in baseball, the Yankees or Mets?
Right, Yankees or Mets.
And like
And both
we
rotations
weren't
are
like
hurt.
thinking of really any other team. We were thinking just
Right.
Yankees or Mets.
Exactly. So you cannot tell me they didn't do enough in the offseason. Sure, you want to talk about the offensive side, but they obviously have guys in the minors who you can call up for offensive help, which they've done.
Mhm.
And that's exactly the reason Epler cited on why they signed so much pitching.
I will disagree
Because
with
you have guys to
I
call
will
up.
disagree with the offense, but that's just because the only reason I'm saying that is because I think you could have got someone better than Tommy Pham for your right-handed DH.
I
Like
agree.
an AJ Pollock
And I think the
was
whole
like the big
yes,
like guy that we both agree on. That's like really
right-handed.
the only
Yeah.
knock I have. Like I think they definitely could have invested a little bit more money in for
Right. And you can't say they didn't try because they tried to sign
that.
Correa.
Yeah.
Let's not forget
Yeah.
that.
They did sign Correa.
They did sign him. Yeah. And look, Correa's not even off to a great start anyways. So everyone have been screaming and crying that Correa sucks and you signed him for 8 years or whatever. So look, you're never going to... It's always a lose-lose situation. But this roster going into the season was one of the better ones. And injuries, underperformance, whatever you want to call it, they're not playing like a good team right now. And the pitching's the problem, the offense isn't. And that's where I'll end it because I could go on and on. You have anything else to add before I get into the looking ahead?
I completely agree with you. If you think it's on the offense more than the like, you could say part of it's on the offense, but if you say that it's all on the offense, you don't watch the games. You just don't watch.
Yeah,
You don't even read
you're
the.
obviously not
You don't
watching
even
enough.
read the box scores.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on.
But that's enough of that. So let's look ahead to our series in Cincinnati. The Mets open up a
That's gonna be
3-game
fun
series
with
with the
not having that
Reds
good of pitching.
Tuesday. Yeah, in Citizens Bank, not Citizens Bank. Whoopsies. Great American Ballpark. So game 1 Tuesday. Mets are off Monday. Max Scherzer versus Luke Weaver. This Reds rotation isn't great either. This rotation is on par with how bad the Mets have been. So
Take the over in every game.
yeah, basically. But game 2, Verlander and Hunter Green, and then game 3, Kodai Senga and Nick Lodolo. So the Mets are getting the two aces, I guess. I don't know if I could call them aces. The better pitchers of the Reds. Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo are like their 1-2 of the future. Nick Lodolo is not off to a great start. He has a 6.29 ERA, and Hunter Green has been solid at 3.75.
How are the Mets with fastballs?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
You better be able to hit the fastball. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, Hunter Green is the flamethrower. But look, this should be a series you win. The Reds are also not a great team.
They have,
but ever since I was like
in India, and even then, he's not going to be the guy to carry the offense. He's a great supplemental piece, but he can't be your best hitter.
Definitely. And look, I came into this like little stretch of easy teams. Fatten up, pad your stats, all that. They've won one game since
1-5.
They won. Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah, 1-5.
Yeah.
Got swept in Detroit.
Yeah, I forgot they got swept in Detroit.
Sorry.
But look, they got to turn it around, and the Reds are a team.
Got to turn the page.
To do that, they have to turn the page. They do. But look, the Mets are not playing as a good team right now. The pitching is just not where it needs to be. Starters need to go deeper. Bullpen needs to rest. Hopefully this off day Monday kind of helps everyone reset, and you go from there. But that's all I got.
Yeah.
You got anything else to add? Yeah, but thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and wherever else
and
you get your
Spotify.
podcasts. And Spotify, yes. But thank you guys again. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. See ya.